Welcome to the Unfolding You podcast. I'm Erin Smylie Walsh, and I'm thrilled to invite you on a transformative journey of self-discovery and faith. Welcome to another episode of the Unfolding You podcast. With me, your host, Erin Smylie Walsh. And I hope you've been enjoying the season so far. It's been great for me to be able to just kickstart the way we have. But today I want to talk about the scripture and the word that the Lord gave me for this year, 2025. And my word was connect. And I don't know if many of you do like word of the year, passage of the year, life motto of the year. I know there's some people that live by it and others like, I'm just going to write a New Year's resolution down and hope for the best. And I started steering away from New Year's resolutions because I just felt like, firstly, I felt like I didn't stick with them. And secondly, in the end, I was like, what is it actually bringing to my life? And I started like going to the word and actually just like committing the year to the Lord and being like, give me what you want to get out of me, what you want me to connect with and like focus on for the year, because I really do believe like in that comes a lot of life lessons and just awareness to writing out the year intentionally in line with the Lord. So my word this year was connect. And last year was transition, this year was connect. And I really did feel like it was a building on from the previous year and everything I had done to get here. And it led me back to a passage in John 15, where the Lord talks about, I am the vine. And it just reminded me again of the Lord's intentionality with us to connect with us and for us to be deeply rooted in Him. And this has really just given me the crux of like how I want to process the year and the intentionality with which I want to do the year. So I'm going to read you John 15, and I'm reading from the NLT, and it starts, I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and He prunes the branches that do bear fruit, so that they will produce even more. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the grapevine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. And I just read that and I was just like, this is just again, just such a reminder of connection. And I want to unpack some of these verses with you because in my life, I felt like we go through seasons of pruning. And often we think pruning is like discipline. But pruning can really just be a means for us to produce more fruit. And we always sometimes think about the ending of seasons, the ending of relationships, friendships, the ending of careers as, well, now we're stuck in the mud and how are we actually going to get out of this? But often they're the Lord closing a door for us so that we can move to the next chapter that he has designed for us. But how often do we just remove ourselves from him in the chaos and the mess versus staying deeply rooted in him in the mess? So pruning can happen in a couple of ways. Pruning can happen through discipline through people that love you, discipline through your parents, through your hierarchical structure at work. Discipline can happen through the Lord as well. And discipline often requires self-reflection on what has actually transpired and happened. And often the self-reflection makes us feel super uncomfortable because we don't want to go deep with ourselves often. It's an uncomfortable process because you've got to come to the reality of things that you need to shift. But if you take it from the eyes of the Lord pruning you in order to deal with something so that he can better use you in situations, man, what a joy and a blessing is that for us as his flock, and to live out our purpose and identity in him. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing. And we often just want to steer away from being with the Lord in those moments. We almost feel embarrassed. We're like, I can't come to you now. I'm just in a mess. And let me go and figure this out and then I'll come back to you. But he wants to be with us in that mess so that he can nourish us and then bear fruit from that discipline. I think of cutting away branches as just making space. And sometimes things are released from us without us having to actually make the decision to let go of them. And those doors close as a state of protection because they haven't been serving us. I look at instances in my life where seasons have ended, relationships have ended, business partnerships have ended. And in that moment, I feel so deeply overwhelmed and like I failed. But when I look back on those moments, I just see the Lord's hand over that. How I had to get rid of those circumstances, those friendships, those partnerships, the relationships, because they weren't serving me in what he had intended for me. And so cutting away of the dead branches can create freedom because it creates space for us to grow. When I think of roses require a lot of pruning. They require pruning at specific times, but the reason they require pruning is so that they can actually bear better fruit for us, that they can actually bear more amazing flowers. And that's the same in our lives. We go, if I get cut off here, the Lord is actually allowing space and nourishment for better flowers, better growth. We also need food. And that then comes right back to the connection with his word. He requires us to connect and live and breathe in him for life so that we can bear better fruit as a result of us being set in him. Pruning is often just those circumstances of moments where the Lord goes, I'm nurturing you now for something better that is to come. And that is often so difficult for us to accept but what a joy that we'll be able to do that. So friends, I really just want to encourage you today. Sit in this. Think of the things that you need to let go of. Think of the space you need to create in order for more pruning to take place, in order for more growth to take place. Because the Lord has put dreams on our hearts in order to get Him to a point where we release everything to Him and we can actually just grow in Him. So go with that and take that as encouragement. Subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and comment if this connected with you in any way. And please share it to somebody that needs to hear this and just get a little bit of encouragement that's either going through a season of pruning or needing to get rid of a couple of dead branches so that we can actually live deeper and better in Him. Go well, and until next time, bye.